Hello, Cory. Thanks for being a part of DGI and our online lessons. Sorry it's taken a little bit of time to get back to you. We actually just moved to Georgia, and so we've been unpacking, getting used to new places and new jobs and stuff like that. But I'm about to get back into doing these online lessons, and you're the first one up, so here we go. I've been taking a little bit of time, watched your video a couple times, watched a couple throws that you sent over. Was perfect camera angle to be able to really help you out with your throws. I definitely think that I can help you pick up some distance and some accuracy. Looks like you got a nice field right there to throw in. So we're going to be talking about a couple things. I'm going to be able to draw on the video like this here, and we're going to kind of get right into it. So the first thing that I noticed whenever you are walking up to your shot here, what I would suggest is try to keep the disc like this as an example. Try to keep the disc a little bit closer to your body. So I'll zoom back on mine. So you can kind of see here how I have the disc just in my hand a little bit. And so when I'm walking up, it's a lot closer, because when you go to reach back, you are then more rotating your shoulders. You can see those two shoulders right there. As I rotate back, that's basically rotating my back shoulder on this side, is really creating my reach back, and it's pulling this shoulder back, and then I extend my arm there. And so that gets you into the right position to get the most amount of power and distance out of your shot. So the first thing I would do is try to keep the disc a little bit closer, and then when you're leading or aiming up, try to lead with your elbow and then look over your shoulder, kind of like you do now, but you're just going to be looking over that shoulder the whole time. That's the first thing that I noticed. I would say the next thing that I will talk about is your reach back position. Reach back position is kind of like, you're setting yourself up to accelerate super fast, so you want to be in a good position. So the disc needs to be a little bit lower. So you can see your disc here, and in relation to your body, there's a line going through the disc. It's kind of close to your top left shoulder. And so when I'm coming through, or when I'm reaching back, you can actually see my disc position being about there. So that's a little bit closer to not necessarily your chest, but you actually want to be a little bit lower than that. This camera angle is a little different, so you can see when I'm pulling through, it's really closer to my core than it is anywhere near my top left shoulder. The reason for that is you got to have one straight line. It's kind of hard to draw, once again, because of the camera angle that I got. But it's kind of hard to stay on one straight line of acceleration if your disc is up near your shoulder, because what will happen is you're going to come down and then swoop up. You're coming from that back left shoulder, and then once you swoop up, it's really easy to get nose up on your shots, and then that's what takes away a lot of distance. So you can actually see here how you're ripping down, and then the disc is kind of coming back up. So you're going to be losing a lot of distance right there. So what I would do, you can do this in a standstill stance, but get in that position, put the disc at about your hip, and then learn to throw off of your hip, actually. So the disc will physically touch your hip. You're going to be reaching back from there, leading with the elbow. So you can, if you're watching my screen, you're really wanting to get into about this position here and then pull through. Like, look how low my disc is in relation to where your disc is now. And it's called, you can just think of acceleration points. So you want to accelerate from low and then accelerate through the core, and that's going to give you a ton of more distance. This is really going to be a big changer for your game once you get that disc position much lower on your reach back. So remember, set yourself up for a faster reach back. The Advanced series does talk a lot about that too, so if you haven't watched that yet, let me know, and would love to help you out with that. So coming down, the next thing that we'll talk about, just like we talked about lining up, and then the next thing we talked about was your disc position. The next thing that I look for is hip rotation and lower body movement. So when you're coming through here, this is the move that I look for if somebody uses their lower body or not. This one step. The reason why I can tell what happens in this one step is, and I'll actually relate it to my throw real quick. Notice my upper body position here. When my front foot, pay attention to this front foot. We'll do this one more time. So pay attention to this front foot here. Once that extends, notice my upper body is actually more, it is moving a little forward, but not bracing for impact whenever this foot touches. So once that foot touches, you notice there's no weight on this knee right here. It's not bracing for impact, because what happens is you want to be loading on this back leg there, and then exploding with your hips and then opening up towards the target. So notice coming through, notice how that front foot is completely rotated right there. So once you're pulling through, one more time, check those hips. Those hips are loaded, and now my front foot is bracing for impact, and look where my disc is, it's already halfway through. And then you're opening up with this back hip. Look at that, the back hip is opening up, coming through, foot rotation all the way over. So we're going to take that, we're going to put it into your throw. So coming through here, I can see, boom, right there, you haven't really started pulling through, but I can see your body is leaning forward a lot more, bracing there, almost no weight on your back leg. So that's something, is you want to get the upper body more located on the back, and then once that front foot touches the ground, it should be toe, and rotate that toe. Rotate the toe, and then you should go from toe to heel once the weight is on top of the front foot. So you can actually see you're not getting almost any rotation, and you'll end up getting some pressure on that knee. And maybe that's a reason too that you're maybe holding back from throwing a lot of power into it. But try to keep that weight on the back foot, rotate that toe, go from toe to heel, especially when the weight is on the back foot. You're not going to be really over the front foot until you're halfway through your shot or more. And then you're going to be able to actually get on that heel and rotate, and your follow through is going to be much smoother, because right now you're going flat footed, pulling through, and then kind of like stiff legging at the very end. But once again, it's really hard to follow through if you're not going toe to heel and opening up. Just like my foot, watch that foot open up, boom, that foot is opening up here, boom. So that's really what you're looking for on that. You need to get on toe to heel, but it's really hard to go from toe to heel if your upper body is located over that front foot. One more time, thanks for being a part of disc golf instruction and our online lessons. Sorry for being a little bit late with this, but I hope that it can help take your game to the next level. Thanks.